TESL with Technology for Beginners webinar, hosted by TESL Ontario. Hi everyone, my name is Magdalene, and I am your moderator for this evening. Like some of you, I am also a Link instructor. Now, before I introduce our guest speaker, there are a couple of housekeeping items that I would like to go through. First off, in order to minimize background noise, I have already muted all of you except Anna. However, we do appreciate your comments and questions. So therefore, at any time during the presentation, please type them in the chat box, which is the right side panel of your screen. So I suppose many of us have been using it already. So Anna will address them during the presentation. Since we are on the chat box, I might as well bring you up or your attention to the phone number at the top of the chat box. You can use this number on your landline or cell phone to listen to the presentation if you experience audio issue during the presentation. So just use the number and type in the PIN ID number, then you will be reconnected back to our conference. Now, one last thing related to the chat box is that above it there is a small icon with an arrow. At the end of the evening, we need to log out by clicking on the icon because it is crucial to log out because the webinar will keep recording if someone is still in the room. So let's see. Okay, without any delay, let me introduce our guest speaker for this evening. TED ideas to help you to interact with your students in new ways. As a college professor with over 20 years of teaching and training experience, Anna Bartosik is in her zone in the classroom. Her students recognize her as a provocative, animated teacher whose style is unique and engaging. Anna brings with her tons of teaching experience, both from working in the private and public sectors. Her employment experience includes Sheridan College, Humber College, the Duffield Separate School Board, LINK programs provided by immigrant service agencies in the GTA, and stints at Private Language Toronto. She has also offered private consulting for business clients in the private sector for the past 10 years. Her client list is composed of Husky Moldings, Crown Packaging, Panasonic, Schneider Electric, and Remax Real Estate Agents. In addition to that, Anna has facilitated workshops at conferences on classroom management, integrating word processing skills in language learning, e-learning, teacher training on job search skills, and incorporating storytelling as a method of experiential learning. Beyond the classroom, her efforts also extend to curriculum development, mentoring and training new teachers, instructional design, and startup and delivery of government language programs. As an active member of the local community, Anna has mentored new graduates with English degrees, provided her time as a workshop facilitator for exam preparation, worked as a translator for immigrants and refugees, volunteered at various local schools in the All-Star Reading Program, taught folk dancing, and delivered heritage language classes. Her interests include sustainable horticulture, culinary arts, and reading. She is currently a Sheridan College professor in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, School of Communication and Literary Studies at the ESL department. So, let's welcome Anna and pass the floor to her.
Wow, thank you very much, Magdalene. As you are reading through that, I'm asking myself, who is that person? I know I've done all those things, but it doesn't sound like me. Hi, everybody. I'm going to turn on the webcam in just a second to say hello to you so that you can put a face to my name. And I've told Magdalene that I'd like to be interrupted, but she's going to field the questions for me. And that's how I am in the classroom. So please ask questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'll just assume that I can continue moving on. One way you could ask questions, and I'll try to pay attention to you, is to click on this raise hand icon on the left-hand side. If you click there, I'll see a little hand next to your name, and Magdalene will let me know, and I'll try to answer your questions. Okay, here we go. So, hi everyone. I'm going to introduce myself with my camera. Just give me a second. Setting up. Hi everybody. There we go. So this is what I look like. I hope I match my voice. And I'm going to turn that off momentarily. Hello, everybody.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Hi.
we can see you now. Hi.
Okay. Great. Okay, I'm turning off now. So Magdalene is a fantastic moderator. She's walked me through this process. She's been wonderful. There's a lot of work in setting up one of these webinars, and I'd like to thank her right now for everything that she's done for me. Hopefully the event will be a success. If it is a success, it's because of Magdalene. If it's not successful, it is all my fault, okay? So welcome everyone. There are a lot of reasons for my interest in technology. Of 3 years ago, I didn't have a smartphone. I was quite nervous about using anything beyond my computer in the classroom and pretty intimidated by using anything I wasn't familiar with. So just with a raise of hands, let's test your raising hand icon here. Anybody intimidated by not knowing something? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's pretty hard to admit sometimes that we don't know something. My goal today is to provide you with the confidence in order to be able to get over that. I think it's important to let our students know sometimes that we don't know everything, and that's okay, but we also need to be able to engage with our students. And young people especially, I teach a lot of young international students at the moment, their brains are being rewired. There's a lot of studies that are being done on neuroplasticity, and technology is rewiring how we think, how we feel, how we dream. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but things that we need to consider the more technology we use, and it happens to older people too, not just digital natives like people who have grown up with technology, is that students' attention spans are shorter. Memorization is no longer necessary because we can always check something. Professor Google can work for us a lot in the classroom and answer all our questions. But we do have also better visual skills, and we're more creative. And young people now dream in color. I remember being told that we dream in black and white, but young people, because of their exposure to technology, have dreams in color. And even our older students, adult students, embrace or use technology. It's a part of our daily lives. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to inspire all of you. Some things about my webinar, you'll notice that I'm not using a black and white contrast. My background is blue. It's because when we're on screens, it's very difficult for our vision to have that strong contrast. So something for you to consider in your classrooms too. And you'll notice that my headings are capitalized probably incorrectly. If you're a teacher, you would say that my prepositions shouldn't be capitalized in my title. But if we see lots of capital letters and lowercase letters, we read things better on screens, and our students do as well. So something for you to consider. Otherwise, we just see blocks and boxes. We don't actually see words if we're looking at screens for a long time. So let's move on. Are you fighting technology? This is our professor who is a member of the faculty against virtually everything. He looks like a very friendly instructor. But if we fight technology, this is how we might end up learning. This professor's in the front of the classroom, arms folded, with that overhead projector that I remember so well. Oh, really, Jennifer? Well, this man or me, Jennifer? He's probably photocopying from textbooks for all his lessons, ironing his elbow patches, claiming everything that I used to use is good enough, so it should be good enough now. but is this how we want to present ourselves to our learners? Do we want to look petulant like this man does? Are we really the sage on the stage, or can we step back and admit that we're not necessarily the fount of all knowledge for our students? So are you fighting it, or are you with it? So we're still in the classroom. We've left that overhead projector, and we haven't changed much. We're not wearing a bow tie anymore, but he's looking up instead of looking out at the audience. And is this how you would prefer to be perceived by your students? There's a lot of technology in this picture. I don't think that I would be using all of that at the same time, but if we open up ourselves to learn, we can help our students to learn as well. And perhaps this man reminds me of David Tennant, the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who. Perhaps we can jump into the TARDIS and travel through space and time together with our new tools and be the Clara Oswald that travels through space and time with him. When I was thinking about working on this webinar, I typed in a list of, I think, 21 different terms or words that came to mind, and excuse me, these were the words that came to mind, and then I decided to put them in a word cloud, and this is what happened. It got all messed up. It's not. I preferred my list much more, but it kind of shows our sometimes attitude about technology. It's difficult to make sense of all of it at once. I much preferred my list, but if I look at my picture, learning is right in the middle, and it's the largest word that I see. And perhaps if you take a look around, maybe other words pop out like PowerPoint or empowerment or confidence. And if we begin with a few of these things, perhaps it will start to make more sense and become enjoyable, because it's all about learning and our approach to students. Yes, Bloom's taxonomy is also good, Francine. It's all about learning, and our approach can mimic that. So let's move on. So how do I begin? If some of you would like to use the chat box at the bottom right-hand side of your screens, can you tell me which websites you've used to engage with your students when you're teaching? I'll wait until I see some answers. Active reading, CBC for podcasts, LO, I like that one. Jennifer ESL YouTube videos, CBC, Cambridge English, great. Okay, I'm going to share one with you. Oh yes, TED Talks for sure. Spelling City. I'm going to share a favorite one with you that connects grammar to current or popular movies, and I'm going to walk you through it. Yeah, all great sites. So this is our first tool, and it's a website blog that incorporates grammar learning and movies together. I like this site because it includes great movies that students enjoy while enforcing grammar points. For example, my students are international students interested in illustration and animation, so I've seen a lot of animated movies on the site. If I want to practice inversion after negation with verbs, there's a Monster in Paris that focuses on that. Monsters University teaches a lesson on modals for advice. Anna Karenina, if you're looking at simpler grammar structures, talks about other, the other, and another. Titanic's still a favorite movie amongst many people. Looks at the third conditional and the omission of if. Bridesmaids, if you're brave enough to talk about that movie in a classroom, deals with functional language and expressing likes and dislikes. And one of the movies that my students enjoy, and actually some of them have read the books, is Catching Fire from the Hunger Games. And that lesson talks about the difference between unrestrictive and restrictive adjective clauses. So while I was preparing for the webinar, I noticed that there's a difference between using Internet Explorer and Google Chrome for your search engine. When I used to use this site originally, I just logged in with Internet Explorer, and you don't need to do anything if you use Internet Explorer. But if you log in with Google Chrome, you know, the the browser with the circle with the yellow on the bottom right side and a little blue circle in the middle. You will have to register for free before you can start searching in this website. So on this screen, if you're using Google Chrome, this is what you'll see, and you'll have to register first. It's free. All you have to do is enter your name, your email, and password. They'll send you a confirmation email, and then you can start looking at using it. But if you're using Internet Explorer, I checked before the webinar, you do not have to register to search this blog site. So what I've done is taken a screenshot. We can't do any embedded video in this presentation because the PowerPoint has been changed to a PDF file. But this side of the screen here, you can see there's an embedded video clip from the movie Catching Fire. And the list of the characters, Mags, Johanna Mason, Finnick Odair, Ryerson, Beatty, Anobaria, Brutus, Kashmir, and Gloss, are listed, their names are listed with their pictures, and you could email the students the link if you can't watch it in class, or you could play it from within this website. Marissa's asking about Firefox. I don't know, I did not check with Firefox because at Sheridan where I teach, Internet Explorer is still our preferred browser, and at home I use Google Chrome. But you'll be able to find out, Marissa, if you go to this website using Firefox, you'll be able to see if you have to register. If you have to register, it's free. So what students have to do is match the names with the pictures to the descriptions of the people listed here, and they'll be able to do that after they watch the video clip. And then what the students would have to do is write non-restrictive adjective clauses, because all of these characters are very unique, and we talk about that in class, that sometimes my students have a difficult time understanding. Oh, how long? Jennifer's asking how long are the clips. This one is about 7 minutes, I believe. They're not very long. I would use this after I've taught a grammar lesson, not before. Or perhaps ask the students to watch the video and then teach the grammar lesson and then move on to this, because these kinds of activities just solidify the learning process and kind of bring everything, make everything clearer to everyone. A lot of our students use technology, and the one thing that that has become very important as young brains are being rewired is that images are very important. So video, pictures, anything like that that you can include in your lesson, especially with a grammar lesson, can really solidify that learning. So my students often have a difficult time distinguishing between when to use a restrictive versus a non-restrictive adjective clause. How do I know somebody's unique? Well, all of these characters in Catching Fire are quite unique, and the students associate the grammatical point with the movie that they've enjoyed, and you can connect with students and talk about the movie and expand your lesson even beyond what's available here. But I like this website because everything is so nicely laid out. The questions are good. The movie clips are very interesting, and I don't know what else to say except I love it. I think the movies are just fabulous, and my younger students always find something here that they enjoy. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, what level? It depends, Francine, what grammar topic you'd like to cover. So the movie Anna Karenina talks about other, the other, and another. So that might be, what, a link level 3, 4 level. I would probably be teaching that in my pre-intermediate ESL class. I would search these clips based on the grammar topic that I'm teaching. So it depends what grammar topic you have. Bridesmaids, even though it's a bit of a risque topic, it only talks about expressing likes and dislikes. So that's not a very high level concept to talk about. Do I give the students the choice to choose the film? Maria asks, no, because I have outcomes that I have to meet in my class, but You could, of course, encourage the students to go and check out these films on their own because it's a completely user-friendly website. They would just have to play the video and do some of the activities. The answers are also included at the bottom of the screen. Are there any other questions? You're welcome, Maria. Can they see the whole movie? No, they can't. And in fact, the good thing about using this website, the clips are embedded. I have a difficult time at Sheridan playing these in the classroom because they are not original. They are not posted by the original poster, so I'm not allowed to play them in the classroom. What I will do is I'll ask the students to watch it for homework, and then we'll discuss the questions in class. But it depends on where you're working. If you're working in a site where they aren't paying attention to copyright and things like that as much as they do at Sheridan, you could of course play it in the classroom, but the full movie is not available. No, it's just an embedded clip. Yes, Francine, it's nice to go there, and I like it after a dry run through some exercises. Is there a list of clips with related grammar points on the site? Yasmin is asking. Yes, each movie lists what grammar point is being taught in that movie. And Marjorie is asking what the website is again. The website addresses will be given to you toward the end of the presentation, in addition to some other ones that I like. Okay, great. So I'm going to move on now from this one website to my favorite topic, or my favorite place to go these days, and this is Socrative. Has anyone used Socrative? Raise of hands over here. No? Okay, great. So this is an online gaming tool and very, very popular amongst a lot of educators. I believe Magdalene has a link to a 43-second clip that she might post to you after I finish my talk about Socrative. You need to create a teacher login. So I'm just going to use my tools here. The teacher login is right here, if you can see that. And all that requires is your email address, a password. They will email you the confirmation, you click on it, and you have an account. The students do not need to create an account. They would just have to log in, and I will show you that once we move through the slides. You all have a unique, once you create an account, you have a unique classroom number that's unique to you, and nobody else has, so that's what the students will use. This is a new look to the site. I did not give Magdalene any links to any longer videos because they all have the old interface and it looks very different from what this page looks like now. But you can go on and take a look on YouTube. There are quite a few videos on using Socrative, but the screen looks completely different now. That's why I didn't ask her to post those other links. So students can log in on any device. You need internet access to use this, but they can use their phones, they can use a tablet, they could use a laptop even in class. So the next page shows you the teacher's view. So over here, these are the settings, right? And here, you can see, oh, I'm not doing very well with with my little tools. I'm going to erase that. Over here, you have my room number. This is a unique room number that is mine only. And the page that you're seeing right now is the dashboard. So we have 4 options from the dashboard. Oh, that's too bad, Hillary. You know what? This all of this information will be available to you after the webinar is over. So don't worry that you missed anything, okay? We can start a quiz. We can do a quick question. The space race is part of the video that Magdalene's going to share with you. And there's also an exit ticket. So today I'm going to show you 2 things: how to do an activity without preparing anything. So you could just log in class. I know you find that hard to believe. And just start something from your grammar book, for example. So if I log in and I click on Create a Quiz, this is the page that I will see on my screen. I can, from this part, I could create a quiz. I can look through the list of quizzes that Socrative has and import them and use them in my class. Or if another teacher that I know creates a quiz, she can give me or he can give me the code and I could use it in my Socrative page. And Socrative also offers you reports. You get a spreadsheet for every single Socrative quiz that you do, whether you want it or not. It's available to you. And we'll come back to creating quizzes later. So I'm going to show you first what I do in the classroom with no prep. So let's say I have my, somebody mentioned they use the AZAR website. So let's say I have a sentence from my AZAR grammar book, and I'm teaching passive voice. And I just chose quick question. And you can see here from my computer screen that I've typed in, they are going to schedule his trial for next month. And the students, what they have to do is change this sentence to passive voice. So I would use this at the end of my lesson to see how well students understood my lesson on passive voice. And you can see here, the first student has entered his sentence. His trial for next month are going to be scheduled by them. I don't say anything when the students are typing it in. I'm just waiting for them to type in their answers. And on the next screen, you'll see that quite a few students have logged in and they've all typed their answers based on changing this first sentence at the top from active to passive voice. Yes, Francine, I'm doing this live in the classroom. I've taken a sentence, a random sentence from a grammar book that I'm using, and instead of having the students write the questions on a piece of paper or on the board, I've asked them to log in into Socrative, type in my room number that's up here. That's all they have to do when they log into Socrative.com. And they have to change the sentence. They have to type in on their phones or tablets or laptops, change the sentence from active to passive voice. So when everyone is finished, I randomly select 4 or 5 sentences. Oh, it's nicer than your Moodle? Okay, I find this such an easy tool to use, but so great for formative assessment. Yeah, it's very clear. It's, you know what, Yasmin, it's very good for immediate feedback because sometimes, let's say I've taught conditionals and I think, oh, most students have problems with composing the result clause, not the if clause. And when I get them to put a sentence in, let's say, the first conditional, I notice that I was actually wrong with my assumption that they were having trouble composing the result clause. What they're having trouble is composing the if clause, and the result clauses are all correct. So it's great to also know exactly where the problems are. I like to see that. So what I do is, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there's a box here that says remove. So I've removed most of the answers and I've kept one correct answer and a few incorrect ones. I choose them randomly. And then the students see this. They have a choice of 4 sentences. And you can see here I have 12 students logged into Socrative. Not one of them has answered the question yet. So they will have to vote out of these 4 sentences which one is correct. And so this is student-generated work. I haven't created anything. All I did, remember at the beginning, was just type in that one sentence. And as they begin to vote, the blue lines become green. And this indicates the longer the green line is, the more people have voted for this sentence as the correct one. So right now, the first and the second sentence are winning. And I took a photo of my students. Oh my gosh, look how engaged they are. Look how excited they are about learning passive voice. That never happened to me before I used Socrative. All of them. Yeah, hi Hong, I didn't see you come into the room. How are you? So you can see, hey, all of them are engaged and they are very competitive with each other. And they're on each other's cases. Yes, Francine, there's no prep. For this activity, there's no prep. Just open your grammar book and type in the sentence. And it's great for me as a teacher to know what exactly they know, what mistakes they're making, so I can keep that in mind for my lesson the next day. So I'm going to show you another little trick with Socrative because I like it so much and I want you to like it too. And this step is a little bit more involved where you are creating a quiz. When you create a quiz, here where you have the yellow part, you have to name your quiz. So let's say today I'm going to show you a quiz on the present perfect. You can choose whether you want to share this quiz or not, and you can see here this is a unique code for this quiz that you are creating. You don't have to share with anyone, but if one of the other teachers that you know wants to use your quiz, you can share this particular number with them. And I have 3 types of questions. So now this activity I would do at home. I would prepare it, but it's very simple to do. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You could just go with the quick question that I showed you before, but please let me show you how much fun it is, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do a multiple choice question. You can also do true and false, or even short answers. And I don't know if all of you can see this screen. It's not, if you want to make your screen larger, you can come down here and fit the presentation to the page, but you're not going to see, I think Magdalene can confirm this for me, you won't be able to see the chat box, or you might not be able to see whoever's in the room. But up here, the question that I've asked the students is, when can you use the present perfect? So I create this quiz at the end of my grammar lesson, perhaps at the end of the week after I've finished talking about the present perfect, reviewing, doing different activities, and I want to see if the students really do know when to use the present perfect. So I'm creating 4 answers for them. Sentence A says to talk about a continuous action. B, to talk about an event that happened at a specific time in the past. C, to talk about an event that repeated in the past. And over here, you can see that I've picked this as the correct answer, okay? And then D, to talk about a scheduled future event. Now, if you only want to create 3 questions, you could just click on this X and get rid of the 4th option. Or if you want a choice of 5 answers, you could click Add over here. And I've also offered an explanation. Once the students get the correct answer or don't get the correct answer, there is an explanation and an example sentence. And always cognizant of the fact that people learn better when there are images present. There is an image that's included here, and you'll be able to see it a little better in the answer on the next slide, I believe. So here is what the students see. They see Jennifer Lopez at the top, and it says spouse, and it's listed 3 of her spouses. And the question for the students is, when can you use the present perfect? And here they have their 4 options, and they choose A, B, C, or D, and click Submit Answer. And now they can see that the student got the answer correct. And the example sentence was that Jennifer Lopez has been married 3 times. That's why I included that image to help them with figuring out which the correct answer was. So to have been married 3 times is a repeated action in the past, and we can use the present perfect to express that. Does anyone have any questions? I did. I went online. I Googled Jennifer Lopez spouses. I copied the image from, I believe, Wikipedia, and I pasted it in my, let me go back and I'll show you when I'm creating the question. Here I have an option to insert an image. You don't have to, but I did that. Is there a limit to the number of quiz questions, Yasmin asks? No, there is no limit to the number of quiz questions. You could create 10, 20. You could actually use this as an assessment if you wanted to, because it will create an answer sheet for you. It will collate all your students' names that have logged in and their scores. So if you wanted to use this as a test tool, instead of writing, doing a paper test, it will score your answers for you. It would be a good option if you don't have a lab at your center. And this is an example of my Answer sheet. Oh yes, Hong, it does reduce marking time. Remember we were talking about that yesterday at the Higher Ed Camp conference. How do you reduce marking time? So Clara Oswald, my beautiful companion from Doctor Who, she got all answers, meaning one answer correct. And so this is my live results for the scores. And this information is always saved for you. You cannot leave Socrative. You can't log out unless you tell Socrative what to do with your spreadsheet or your progress reports. So it will ask save for another time. You can click yes. You could print them as a PDF. You could even use this as an informal activity. There's an exit ticket activity when students are leaving class that you could ask, how was today's class? There are 3 questions there. Was everything difficult? Was it easy? Did you have any trouble understanding? And it also gives me a lot of feedback when they're leaving my classroom. And the link that Magdalene provided you a little earlier in the conversation there shows you an example of space race. There it is. It's a 43-second, there it is, yeah. It's a 43-second clip. If you want to open a new tab in your browser and take a look at it, it's only 43 seconds. You can see students using space race where they're competing against each other to answer the questions as quickly as possible. So Magdalene, we're going to give them a chance to step out for a second and take a look.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, we'll come back in a minute. How's that?
Okay. Hong is asking if I create a different room ID for a new class each term. No, each time you log in, this is you up here, your room number. And each time that you log in, you have a unique class and a unique report for that day. So you don't have to enter any new classes. It's whoever's logged in for that day. And then that report is saved for that particular day. So no need to record classrooms or different classes. Do I import the quizzes to that ID? I just create a quiz and then I open it for the students that I want to do it with. I would do that from here. I'd start with dashboard and I could start a quiz there. I know, Hong, there's so many, it's such a simple layout, but so many great features in Socrative. And I have some activities saved. I've imported some quizzes from different websites. People can do science ones. So if you want to practice something, maybe you have kids at home and you want them to practice some science questions, you could do that too just by logging in and importing some quizzes. Socrative.com. Magdalene's asking if you guys can raise your hands once you've come back from the YouTube clip. How does it work with slightly older learners? Yasmin's asking, any feedback there? Are they comfortable, Yasmin, using cell phones? So I have students up to the age of maybe 50, 55 in my class. They have cell phones. And I always make sure that I wait for everyone to log in before I start a quiz. And, fast is not always best because a lot of the younger students want to win the race, but they make a lot of mistakes. And some of my older students, they get the correct answers. Trudy's saying that students over the age of 65, well, if they don't have a cell phone, then probably they might not feel comfortable doing this, but you could also have, if you have a large group of people that age, Trudy, then what you could do is run the quiz yourself on the screen and have them read off the screen. Your adult learners, Francine says that they would probably just say the answers. Well, that's an option if you open up the quiz and go through it and show them the answers. It could be a different way of doing things instead of having students write the answers on paper. So you could work through the questions yourself, show them the questions, have them guess the correct answers, and then show them what the answer is and tell them why. Yeah, Yasmin, you could start a discussion. The Jennifer Lopez question raised a lot of discussion afterwards, whether we started making predictions about her future. Will Jennifer Lopez get married again? Mm-hmm. And I think that, or I don't think so. There, especially when you include images with some of these questions, it's interesting how far the discussion can go.
Mm-hmm. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
I can see a few hands come back. So, do you think that we should move on to the last section because we just 15 minutes left?
Yeah. Mingsha, yeah. Mingsha is asking how about no internet or Wi-Fi? This won't work then. the option you could have is print pages, but then it's no different from working from a textbook, right?
Or maybe they can work at home or something like that?
Yes, you could ask them to work at home, but you'd have to have the quiz open. So Socrative would not work in that case. But the website that we told you about, the blogging one about movies, that would work for students to work on their own. Okay, let's move on then, if no one has any other questions, to our third option, which is using mobile apps in the classroom. And I've selected Poplet to share with you. Poplet is available as a free app that's downloadable. You could access it. I've shown you a screenshot of what it would look like if you log into Poplet on your computer or on your laptop. So you would, it's a free download here. You can see from iTunes for Macs and PCs. You could download it from your tablet. The one thing about using mobile apps that you should be aware of is there are different levels of usage depending on what kind of device you're using. So for example, Poplet on my desktop, on my computer, or on my laptop is free, and I can use all functions of Poplet on my computer. However, when I log in and download the free app on my iPad, I only get Poplet Lite. It would cost me $4.99 to get all the access. So you should, like I do, I sit with my phone, my tablet, and my computer all next to me, and I check out these apps to see, are they going to work the same on all my devices? So if the students are using Poplet Lite, they're not going to have access to everything. And today, I'm going to show you what Poplet Lite looks like so that I wouldn't say there are limitations to it. You just can't play that much with it. So Poplet is a great, oh, Maria's suggesting me that my watch, no. I still have an old-fashioned watch. Yes, Francine, I like Poplet. It's a good brainstorming app. I'm going to show you, let me see if I can play with Magdalene said I should try drawing, so I will try drawing for you guys. When you do one of those brainstorming clouds with your students and you do this, right, in class, where you try to get some ideas going. Let's say you want students to tell you the names of fruit or vegetables, or let's say you want, I'm not going to try writing it, but let's say I write uncountable nouns here, and you ask the students for a list of uncountable nouns. If I want to brainstorm a topic on acid rain, what are the effects of acid rain? And you write acid rain here. This app will do things a little bit differently for you, but achieve the same results. So these are your options to start. This is a screenshot of my iPad and how Poplet, so remember this is Poplet Lite, but still a lot of great functions. If your class has a smartboard, your learners could go up to the, oh, Francine, you're stealing my idea. Hold on, I'll get to that. Yes, absolutely, for sure. I was going to suggest that. So these are your options to begin. You can make a new popple. You can multi-select popples. You could select all popples, or you could disable editing. That's what all of these things say. On the next slide, this is Poplet Light. I've changed the background color. This little icon here changes my color, so I picked pink. This T changes justification. So within my text box here, I could have everything left justified, centered, or right justified. And Anne's asking if you're using an Android, you would have to use the Poplet website. There's no Android app. Anne, I'm sorry, I didn't check, but I was using my computer and I was able to use, you can have an iTunes account and still download the app for your computer if you have iTunes on your computer, but it doesn't have to be, so I'm using an HP computer and I'm able to use it on my computer. Yeah, check it out for sure. So this justifies your text. This is the pencil, so you can write things. And my favorite feature is the feature here, you can embed a picture. You could post a photo or an image. And if you have any questions for Poplet, there is a question mark here. You can ask questions, find out answers to your questions there. So on my iPad, this is what the screen looked like. So I've clicked in here, I want to center my text, and my keyboards come up, and I can type the information into the screen. So I love this tool for collaborative brainstorming. For example, if you want to brainstorm on a comparison contrast essay, or causes of air pollution, or listing countable versus uncountable nouns, the students, for some reason, well, not for some reason, they react better to this than drawing on a whiteboard. And as Francine said earlier, you could, why not allow students to come up to the smartboard and type in the own answers? Why should we be typing in everything, right? If you have Wi-Fi in the school, they could collaborate in groups. If students have tablets, you could encourage them to bring their tablets to class, and they could do group brainstorming based on how many tablets you have that day, or as one whole class, have the students come up and type in their answers, give them access to the internet, let them upload images. They will remember things so much better. And so I made a small little Poplet for you guys. Here is my webinar, and I made small popples here. I was going to talk about websites, gaming tools, and mobile apps. And if I don't like any of this, I can move it around, or I can delete the whole thing and start again. Yes, Jennifer, you could do it in lab too, for sure. And Francine was thinking for some kinesthetic activity. Yes, the more that we do things on our own, the better we remember, instead of someone else holding the stylus or the pen or having access to the keyboard. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. So I hope I did not promise you too much today. I hope I showed you 3 easy tools that can work in the classroom, or some of them can work outside the classroom, that will help us interact with our students in different ways, that will engage our students in interesting ideas. And on the next screen, I have some other things that you can try that are all free. And Magdalene is going to upload a document after the webinar that has even more links to other things. So Kahoot, it's another gaming website. I would suggest that you try it after you get very comfortable with Socrative. It's a little bit more involved, but it's great. I tried it at a conference, and as a student, not as a facilitator, and it got very competitive in the room. We started shouting at each other. It was so much fun. And that's good for any level. Evernote is a note-taking app. If you have Wi-Fi, you can email your notes from the app without logging into an email account, which is very convenient. MindMaple works like Poplet. It's another brainstorming app, and I do know that MindMaple is not Apple friendly. It is Android and desktop friendly, but it does not like Apple computers. I had to, it has, sorry, Danica, I don't know, iPod or iPad works better for what? I don't think I understand your question, Danica.
Maybe we'll come back to Donica later on. How's that?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And there were some websites also that I wanted to mention. Someone said at the beginning of the webinar that they used elo.org. I really like elo.org, especially for lower level learners. Sometimes in the classroom you have students who say, I'm sorry, I don't understand what he says. I don't understand his accent. His accent is too difficult to understand. Well, at English Language Learning Online, students can listen to people speaking English with all sorts of accents. You could choose an American and a Canadian speaking English to each other. You could choose a Brazilian and a Pakistani person speaking English to each other. You just have to look at you'll have to know your flags though. If you recognize the flag of the country, you'll know what accents those people are using. And they're speaking about interesting topics. Sometimes they're talking about regrets. Sometimes they're talking about the best day they ever had. Sorry, Francine's asking, how would you incorporate some movement in your classroom so our learners are not on their devices for such a long time for all these activities? Well, with Socrative, I'm only using it for a short time. It's usually toward the end of the class, so the last 15, 20 minutes. So that's not very long. The Poplet app for brainstorming, so the students are joining each other in groups and brainstorming, and then perhaps I would get them to do the writing on the whiteboard or on poster paper posted around the classroom. So I would use these apps just as a break from my regular routine and to get them moving to other things. So it's one of the few steps that I would take in my lesson. So for Socrative, no more than 20 minutes. Oh, absolutely, Francine. Or if you want to use it as a test, Socrative could work. It could just, I use it to check in. I use it for formative assessment, and you could use it for summative assessment if you wanted to. So Elo, coming back to Elo, it's great. There are activities available. You can do listening activities with the students, and you could also, I've also used some of their listening activities as listening tests from lower levels to higher levels. The ESL Independent Study Lab is a collection of reading websites, and it gives you links to other websites. It's organized by 4 levels with great explanations. I like it because there are good material for higher level readings as well, and ESL Independent Study Lab is exactly that. It's independent, so students could use it at home.
Yeah, sorry to jump in. I just want to go back to Donica's question. She asked if iPod or iPad better for Poplet.
The iPad. Did I say iPod? iPad.
No, that was her question. iPod or iPad. Maybe she has an iPod or an iPad, so on. Yeah, but so Poplet is for iPod. Oh no, sorry, iPad.
Yeah, you need a larger screen to see everything.
For iPad. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, good. One last question, because we are really running out. What did you say
the MindMaple is used for? It's like Poplet. It's a brainstorming app. It looks more like your traditional, you can make it look more like your traditional brainstorming. So you draw that circle in the middle of the board with rays branching out from it. It's just another brainstorming app. Any more questions? You're welcome, Patty. So I would like to thank Magdalene first. She is my guide on the side, and she is a great moderator. So a virtual clapping of hands for Magdalene. She's fantastic. Oh. And I mean it, Magdalene.
Well, thanks,
It would not be a smooth run if you weren't here. There's my Twitter handle and my email address. If you have suggestions for future webinars or presentations, you can contact me. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I tweet about reading at the moment. I tweet about technology, and I tweet about a lot of Sheridan College events. You're welcome, everyone.
Good. Yeah, so I'm going to steal the floor from you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me get my screen. Okay.
You're welcome, everybody.
Good, thanks. Okay, so I'm sure that many of us will be busy trying out these websites and apps for the next couple of days. Now, on behalf of TESL Ontario and our audience, I would like to say a big thank you to Anna. You had put in so much time and effort on putting such a bucket full of presentation for us, and it's really engaging and interactive, and the slides are marvelous, well done, and I've learned so much from you. Once again, I thank you. So before I let everybody go, there are a few housekeeping items I need to go through. First off, TESL Ontario would appreciate if you could fill out the feedback form, which will be sent to your email in the next couple of days. And you will also be getting your PD certificate for this webinar within a week. And I will open a post-webinar forum in which Anna's handout will be uploaded. And also I will include her Twitter handle. So in the near future, we can stay connected. And you can also post questions and comments on the forum. So I will invite Anna back to answer those questions or respond to the comments. Because I will be moderating the forum as well. So last but not least, please check out and sign up for the following webinars. So we have two coming up in May. One is Mental Health in ESL Classroom, May the 20th, 7 to 8 p.m. And another one is May the 24th, Technology for Beginners Series, Smartboard Part 2. So please stay tuned and sign up for those webinars. Before we say our good night, I would also like to thank some of our behind-the-scenes colleagues, in particular Francine. She's been wonderful. She sent out reminding emails to all of you, help you and make sure that you get into the right room. And also she set up the sign-up page for this webinar. And I also thank you for the other moderators who signed in this evening. Your presence is very comforting. So I guess that's about it. So should I unmute all users?
Everyone's unmuted now?
Yes, everyone is unmuted. I mean, yeah, so.
I'll stop recording, okay?
Okay.